Hello traders, welcome again. So today we'll have an insight on two pairs, Euro Aussie and GBPCAD. Euro has been a little bit weak over the years, over the month, due to its low of interest rate. So the Eurozone ECB haven't yet decided to rise their interest rate. That's why we see some weakness of euro. However, there have been a little bit of announcement and a little bit of some news stating that euro will rise their interest rate starting from July. So I hope from July we'll be able to see the strength of euro rising again, and we might see a game changer in the market. However, when it comes to the CAD, Canadian dollar, we can see that it has been a little bit strong over the couple of weeks or the couple of months. This is due to its correlation with oil, whereby the strength of oil being a little bit higher in demand and in price, it same applies in strength of the CAD. Hello traders, welcome back again. So this is a Euro Aussie pair, one of the pairs that will be dissecting them from a weekly time frame back to the lower time frame that I normally prefer to trade, or the time frame that I will be waiting for my setup to align. So starting from this weekly perspective, we saw that the price has been trending a little bit higher, moving a little bit down, moving higher, and it has been consolidating a little bit well in some sort of an uptrend. However, let's move this one. However, we can see that the price has been a little bit, we can say, a little bit choppy. So this one has been the highest point, and then followed by this one, which is a lower point, which would be because it couldn't break up this higher level of structure. However, the price managed to break this area down here, and we saw the price pushing down to this side. However, the price attempted to come back again to break these higher highs, but a little bit of lower highs, but failed to do so, and ended up forming these what we call lower highs, and the price came down, moved a little bit sideways before dropping to the downside. So in a little bit like in a normal sense, or by looking at it, we can just come into conclusion that this is a downtrend. So as we can try to highlight areas of demand, as I normally prefer, we see this one is a good area of demand which hasn't yet been tapped by the price. So we can put a little bit of a zone in case the price comes back to this level. It might be our area of target, maybe the price might be coming from this level. So looking at this price in a weekly perspective, we can see that so we can see that the price managed to form this area of structure, which was previous support, and now this area has been broken, and we saw the price rallying to the downside. However, the price managed to come back, and now it is in around this level. So based on what we see, that this previous area of structure, which now is being respected as an area of resistance, because it's a previous support now turned into resistance. We can try to zoom in so that we can be able to see how the price has reacted in this level. So previous weeks, weeks, we saw that the price has been forming these indecision candles. It formed these two doji candles with rejection on both sides. This one was a pin bar, showed rejection to the downside, and price managed to come back. However, as we all know that this overall market structure or the trend is to the downside. So the price managed to come to the downside. However, coming back, it has retested this area of previous support, which now turned into resistance. We saw that multiple weeks ago, the candle closures have been forming wicks showing multiple rejection around this area of structure. So what we anticipate is continuation of the price overall to the downside. However, in a lower time frame, we might expect to see a little bit of pullback to these areas, to this like a weak fill before the market decide to continue more to the downside. However, anything can happen. We can see the price trying to drop from this level, going to the downside, or we can see a little bit of retracement of this particular candle, maybe by 50%, before we can have overall movement to the downside. However, our overall bias is still bearish. We expect the price to go more to the downside. So going into daily time frame, what do we see in daily time frame? We can see that the price has managed to come and react So we can see that this has been the retest of this area of structure, which we saw it in the weekly time frame, which formed a good or the one of the best what we call supply zone. So the price managed to move with the candles with momentum. However, the price managed to come back again to these particular areas to fill some orders of the big institutions or the big guys. So when the price came here, we saw a little bit of rejection. However, we don't have to look into that. But as we see on this candle closure in the daily perspective, we saw the candle has been a little bit bearish, and we saw a good engulfing candle which has managed to engulf multiple candles on this side, because this candle is a little bit bigger than compared more than these candle in total. However, as we see this price, it seems like it's in a little bit of consolidation. We'll be able to see it clearly in the down frame, in the lower time frame, I mean. So without further ado, because there is no much to see on this level of time frame, as we know it has already retested area of structure, so we will be dropping into lower time frame. So going into 4-hour time frame is when where all the magic is happening. So as we can see that let's take the cross. So this has been the area of supply, and the price has managed to come and react with the supply, forming this a little bit of two double bottoms, double tops. So as we see, the price managed to come from this level, and we are able to form a little bit of a channel. We saw this one, a first touch, then we have this one, second touch, and we have this one, third touch. You can call it second touch, either ways. However, from the downside, we see that there is a price acted in this level, which is the lowest lows in a weekly perspective, and then we saw a second touch of this one, and now we expect maybe the price might drop a little bit for the third touch and move along to the upside. So we cannot rule out buying scenarios, because still we can see that there is opportunity and we are still trending to the upside, unless otherwise that this area of structure becomes violated, we get a breakout, a retest. It's when we will be able to go to the downside. You might be asking yourself why I don't consider this area as an area of like maybe this demand, or maybe what might happen, because this one, we saw this one has been a little bit of demand with these two candles pushing up, and the price managed to come down. So the price managed to come down. This is a retest of this particular demand. So there is possibility that this particular area of structure and demand might not hold, because this demand zone of this particular area has already been retested. So we might see price pushing from the downside maybe to this level here before we can have overall to the downside, or however we can still wait, and the price might break this level of structure and continue more to the downside. So anything is possible, but we need to keep a closer eye and see how the market reacts. So my bias in this particular pair is overall is bearish. However, I will react based on the market, the way it reacts. So if I'll be able to see the market coming and reacting to this area of support, of this small support, and a little bit of area of demand in lower time frame, I mean when you go deeper into 1 hour, you'll be able to see it well. So let's jump into see. Yeah, so in 1 hour we have this particular area of demand. So we might see a price coming to this area before going up, as we have seen break of structure. So there is possibility price might bounce from here and go to the upside. So the overall move will be weighted, and we'll be watching it and going through it on the 4-hour time frame. So going into another pair, GBPCAD, as we can see from this perspective, we have got a huge consolidation, and this is from a monthly time frame. From monthly time frame, we can see that the price has been a little bit moving sideways, which is consolidation or range. So previously we had this particular level of demand whereby the price came back and tapped into it, and then we saw a little bit of a huge rally, and then now the price has come back to the same level of demand. So now I won't be terming it as a particular, like in particular as a demand, because it has already, this is the retest of this previous demand. So we can trade it, but mostly it's not appropriate, I can say. But however, we can term it also, it is aligning with the area of this support or area of structure. So we can term it as an area of support where the price has managed to react very well. So moving into lower time frame, so I'll be removing this one because it might create a little bit of ambiguity in the lower time frame. So going into weekly perspective, we can see that this has been the lowest area of price. As we have seen it in monthly, it's a little bit of a rejection in the area of structure. However, as we can see that we have these areas of supply which have been already marked. So we saw a candle with a huge engulfing candle, and then we saw a little bit of a price pushing closing as a doji, signifying a little bit of, maybe we can say, retracement, and also it might signify maybe price losing its steam, losing its momentum, and maybe we might see a little bit of a movement to the down, a little bit to the downside. We cannot say that for sure, but as we can see, judging from this particular candle closure, we can say it's a doji. So going into other time frame, we might have a little bit of more of information compared to this one. So in a daily perspective, we saw the price has been moving with a huge momentum, as the price has been moving a little bit consolidated or correction, and then moved a little bit, and then price moved a little bit more to the downside. But as we can see, let's try to zoom in, we can see that the price has been forming what we call is double bottom. Nope. So going to this one, we can see that the price has been forming a double bottom. Let's take the price. So the price has managed to form this area here, and we saw the price managed to form this area. So it's a double bottom because the price managed to come back up, broke these areas of structure, and we saw the price coming back up here before we now see the price trying to move a little bit downside. Maybe we might have a little bit of to the downside before the price starts to shoot back up again. So we don't have to be the judge of that. We just have to wait for the market to show us the final judgment of where the price might be going. So judging from the price in terms of daily closure, we saw that the price managed to form this particular candle. So this particular candle shows that a little bit of a decline or loss of momentum by the bullish by the buyers, and we might see a little bit of price dropping to the downside before going up. So you might be asking why I don't term this area as area of demand that we can prefer to trade. Simply because this candle has managed to come back around this level. So let me just try to do that again. Let's remove these ones. So we have seen this price moved up a little bit before the price, this candle has managed to come and tap into this area of demand. So I won't be trading this area as area of demand because the price, when it went up, it managed to come back again. So this demand is not fresh because it's been tested as the price was moving more to the upside. So it might be irrelevant for me to try to trade it. But as I can see from these candle closures and with these two bearish candles, I can say that the price might move a little bit to the downside before we might have a little bit of price continuation to the upside, because it might be the trend trying to change, or something of a sort. Because as I was saying, CAD has got a correlation with the oil. So maybe due to demand or something of a sort, and everything going on in nowadays with the current affairs, we might see a little bit of a slowdown in oil prices and demand. So maybe pound now, it's time for it to step up its game, and we might see the price continue to the upside. So going to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that this overall, as I have mentioned earlier, this is an area of we call it area of it's a double bottom in a bigger picture. So the price now is currently moving in a channel, in ascending channel. So this is the way the price is moving. So this up here is marked is area of structure, which is marked from the daily perspective. So the price has been moving up, moving down, moving up, moving down, moving up, moving down. Now the price is in a little bit of a consolidation. So when it comes to consolidation, it's like when you see any kind of consolidation, it means that there is no person who has got strength when it comes to the buyers and the sellers. So they have equal strength. So one will be pushing the price higher, the other one will be pushing the price lower. So from this area, what we'll be waiting is to see how the market will react. It's either that we'll be able to see market price pushing up, retesting and continue to the upside, or I will trade it in a way that I will wait for bullish engulfing candle, let's say in the 4-hour candle in closure on Monday is when maybe I'll decide to buy based on what the candle will be confirming. However, if the price managed to break this area of structure before continuing to the downside, I'll also go with the trend. And my area of target will be this one. However, because selling will be a little bit not advisable, but I will take my chances, but I'll be trailing my trade. So I won't be taking consideration in this area of demand, because we saw this previous area of demand. We saw these two candles with a good momentum, and we saw the price has managed to react to this area. So when the price comes here, there won't be much of a reaction, possibly because this area of demand is already being tested. It's a retest of previous area. So that's why my target is around this area of structure, and this will be the area that I will want to sell to if we're gonna sell. However, if the price managed to give me the opportunity to buy, then I'll buy from this area, and my focus will be in this area of supply. So we'll be able to see how did I draw this area of supply and term it as a supply. So going into 1 hour time frame, we get to see this one. We get to see this one. The price managed to come and from this area of supply. So I won't be shocked, or I won't be surprised if the price managed to hold on to this area of a little bit of structure, and we might be able to buy and come out at to this level of supply before taking short position. So whichever the case, I'll be prepared and wait to see how the market reacts. So if the price comes here and I see a good market change of market structure or candle confirmation showing the price might be going more to the downside, I will continue with it. However, if the market will be able to violate this area above, then I'll take my chances into continuing with buying. However, we'll see what happens, because everything depends on another thing. So having said so, thank you for tuning in and thank you for your time. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment, and leave a like. And thank you for your time. Till next time.